Welcome, everyone, to Atlanta Motor Speedway, just 20 minutes south of Atlanta, Georgia. Here we are tonight for the My Cricut Makes Truck Series playoff race number 1 from this 1.5-mile oval. 24 degrees of banking, quad oval, not your traditional oval like we used to see here back in the day. Some modifications made to add a dog leg here years ago. Now in the process of reconfiguring the facility once again, so expect an update of this racetrack, a new scan possibly in the near future. First race, though, 1960, won by Fireball Roberts. Also the site of Jeff Gordon's first race and Richard Petty's last back in 1992. Gonna see what these truckers can do tonight. Dustin Painter, once again, fastest in practice. See if he can bring home a victory here tonight. Practice just getting ready to wrap up, a few minutes remaining. Again, Dustin Painter, your top time at 31:06. Steve Requino, the 24 truck, he is second fastest, only 200ths off of Painter. And we have the 11 of Josh Battles, Mark Thomas, James Kerr the third, round out the top 5 on the speed chart. Tough track for these truckers. Worn out racing surface, day race, plenty of sunshine. Sure, that track temperature is going to be up there. Weather here at the facility, 78 degrees, nice and comfortable. Track temp 102, partly cloudy. Not too terribly warm on the track temperature. We'll have to see how that changes throughout the afternoon. Last week's winner, Mark Thomas, 2 in a row to close out the regular season. 3 on the full season. Again, he had the victory at Circuit of the Americas. Number 50 truck looking stout. 4th quick in practice. Good tailwind down the backstretch could put him top of the board. Top 5 all separated by less than 1/10 of a second. So again, qualifying going to be important here. Pretty equal running up here in the top 5. Before we get into the qualifying session, this is the My Cricut Makes Truck Series. My Cricut makes custom-made signs and a lot more. Contact Tabitha Brown at 618-340-0900. See if she can get you hooked up with custom-made signs and more. LSI Litchfield Specialty, an associate sponsor to the series. D. Dixon & Sons Trucking Incorporated. And Sudath Taxidermy. Call 635-636-544-7836. Also like to mention again, the TRS Racing School. It's not too late to purchase a winning gift for Christmas. No lead car. Passing is allowed, encouraged. The Racing School is an experience of a lifetime. Book your date at the historic Thompson Speedway in Connecticut today. Call 877-CAN-RACE or visit theracingschool.net. So Aaron Conover, the first truck to leave the pit lane here to start his first of 2 qualifying laps here in Atlanta. Aaron Conover crosses the line, takes the green flag on lap number 1 of his attempt. Conover through the dog leg, crosses the start-finish line. First lap in the books. It's a 31.704 for the 20 machine. Got Mark Thomas out on the track as well, starting his run. Maybe lap 1 in the books. No, that's green flag. No, that is lap 1. 31.15 for Mark Thomas, a bit quicker than the 20 of Conover. Will stay with the 50 of Mark Thomas, last week's winner here for his second lap. See if he can improve. Donald Ray in the 41, about a 1/10.5 off. He was third. He's third now. Conover moves to second. Second lap for Mark Thomas, 31.10, a little bit quicker. Check on Dustin Painter here. A nice holiday-inspired paint scheme on that number 65. Looks like a Christmas vacation paint job. I can't tell. Yep. Yes, indeed. The classic Christmas vacation. Lap 1 for Painter, 31.935. We saw him a little loose off turn number 2. We'll see if he can improve on his second lap. Again, he was quickest in practice. A little more heat in the tire, a little more air pressure. Let's see if he's got a little more handle on that number 65 F-150 as he works into turn number 3. Mike LaJoy checking in. His lap time just 2/100ths off of pole. Looks like that was his second lap, so not quite enough to knock Mark Thomas off of P1. Dustin Painter through the dogleg. Skirts the grass just a bit, crosses the line. Lap 2 for Painter. It's a 31.10, just barely quicker than Thomas. Even on the tower, it shows no different, but is indeed quicker. Dustin Painter to pole position, 31.10 and a 31.10. There's got to be some extension there. I think Thomas ran a 31.10.4, I think it was. If I remember correctly, you guys might have to rewind it. I don't even know if I got that turned on, but nevertheless, Dustin Painter, P1 here, knocks Mark Thomas off the pole. Kevin Newborn now rolling out onto the track in the number 51 Georgia Silverado. First lap for Newborn, 31.582, 13th on the board here. Bottom of the field so far for those who have taken time. Lap 2 should be an improvement for the number 51. Lap 2 with 31.42 for Newborn, keeps him in 13th. Josh Battles first lap, 31.33, good enough for 11th. Josh was a little quicker than this in practice. Not sure if any draft came into play here. Battles running a black and green Grinch paint scheme. Pretty cool tonight. See if he can pick up the pace here on his second qualifying lap. He's into 3 and 4. (31.17), 7th quick for Battles, not bad. Puts him up in the top 10. Also got Steve Requino, has not taken a time. He's out on track now. Green flag in the air for the 24. This could be a contender for pole position. Painter and Thomas up top with the same time, within maybe 4/1000ths of a second difference between the two. Steve Requino, though, trying to knock them both back a spot, put himself on the provisional pole, move Painter to the outside. Lap 1 for Requino, the 31.441. That's 15th quick, bottom of the board. Expect a quicker lap here next time by. That might be a waste lap for the 24, just getting heat in those Goodyear Eagles. Off turn number 4 into the dog leg. The 24 crossing the line. See what he puts up on the board. P number 1, he did it, 31.089 seconds, a lightning fast lap for the 24. Moves Raquino to the top spot, Dustin Painter to the outside. Real tight times here in qualifying, top 6 by just over half a tenth difference. Great lap by Raquino. Dale Legan here in the Sudath Taxidermy paint. Dale in the 05. Back to Atlanta Motor Speedway for tonight's My Cricket Makes Truck Series. Of course, from Atlanta, on the pole tonight, Steve Raquino with a hot lap here of 31.089. Dustin Painter on the outside front row, the number 65, only 1/100th of a second off of that time. Mark Thomas, not too shabby either, starting behind the 24 in the third starting position. 1/10.5 off of pole speed. Then you have Mike LaJoy in the 29, Austin Purnell in the 32. Dale Legan in the 05, good lap for the 05 machine. Donald Ray starts 7th in the 41. James Kerr, Black Acid Custom Racing in the 75, will roll off from the 8th position. Josh Battles will start 9th. Aaron Conover will roll off from the 10th position. 11th, Ben Choate. Wasn't done there. 11th, Ben Choate. 12th will be Brian Torcha. OG Racing. 14th will be Pete Woodrum. 14th, Derek Cook. Greg Jones will be 15th, and Kevin Newborn will be 16th. And David Wright, Mike Taschereau, and Shane Wagner listed, classified, but maybe not in the event this evening. Going to be an interesting race. We've got 70 laps here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Tires will come into play. They've got 2 sets to work with over the fence. 1 on the truck, 2 over the wall, and a 50% fuel load. So trying to work in some fuel economy strategies, so to speak, in tonight's race, and we'll see who plays it the best. Again, race 1 of the playoffs here. Mark Thomas was able to win the last 2 regular season races coming into the playoffs, so already off to a good start, hoping to carry that momentum forward. Fast guys certainly up front here. Raquino, Painter, Mike LaJoie, Mark Thomas, Purnell, these guys have all shown speed here as of late. iRacing pace car takes the hard left down the pit lane. Flag is up at the start-finish line. We're underway here in Atlanta Motor Speedway. Steve Raquino out to the early jump. Painter slides down, maybe low, maybe high, trying to block the 29 up high. Mark Thomas takes the low lane. Painter kind of all over the place, did not get a great start. Able to slow down the advance from LaJoie and Thomas. Mike LaJoie looking to the inside. 65 of Painter as they work off turn number 4. Lap 1 in the book. Steve Raquino's got the lead. .24 putting some distance back to the second place truck of Dustin Painter. Half a second already, lap and a half down. Dustin Painter fighting with Mike LaJoie just half a lap ago. Held on to that spot, leaves himself in the second position. Mark Thomas now is taken over third, and LaJoie is dropped to fourth. Austin Purnell in the number 32 truck still runs in the 5th position. Battle up front here for the second spot, though. Mark Thomas taking the high line, looking around the outside of Dustin Painter. Not enough to make a pass just yet. Getting a run off turn number 2, though. Takes a look down low. Will he make a move to the inside in 3? Yes, he does. Mark Thomas trying to battle for that second spot here 3 laps into this 70-lap event. Still side by side through the dogleg at the line. Give Thomas the spot. Hasn't got the 65 clear just yet. They work into 1. Thomas off turn number 2 has secured the position, cleared the 65 of Painter. Dustin taking a quick look down low. Not enough momentum to make the move. Certainly right there, though. Ooh, trouble on the front stretch in the dogleg with just a couple of cars involved. Didn't catch who that was, and we stay under green. Maybe Shane Wagner? Could be Shane Wagner. Shane has disappeared. I'm going to try and rewind this the best I can because it never even showed up as an incident. It just won't let me do it. The SDK overlay system has been acting up a little bit here this evening, not cooperating. Luckily, it's still up and running, but forgive me for the issues. 24 still out front, decent gap to the second spot of Mark Thomas. Still under pressure by Dustin Painter. Dustin looks strong. Didn't put up a huge fight of Mark Thomas. Kind of gave the 50 the position. Didn't want to make it a big deal. It is relatively early here in the race. Dustin so relatively comfortable in the 3rd position. Not much pressure at all from the 29 of LaJoie. Work off turn number 2. Painter still right there on the tailgate of the 50. can hear Dustin Painter working the throttle through turns 3 and 4. Saving the tires, not willing to abuse the truck early on. It's smart driving, good racecraft by the 65 machine. While we were on board with Painter, it looks like Aaron Conover crashed. We're going to watch this battle here for a minute or two, see what develops, and we'll try and go back and take a look at the incident with the 20. All right, well, let's take a look, see what happened to Aaron Conover here. We'll speed things up a bit. He's down on the apron already when we pick it up. Maybe leaving pit lane. Oh, yeah, just trying to get out of the pit lane. I'm going to back that up a little bit. See if we got any better view of it. Yeah, the 20 just exiting pit lane. All by his lonesome. Yeah, it gets up on that banked part of the apron, and the truck turns a little better than you want it to at that point. Unfortunately, to save it, puts it into the safer barrier. Back up front, though, looks like Mike LaJoie has made a move around the 65 of Painter, and Painter under pressure from the 32 of Purnell. This is the battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Mostly 4th and 5th between Dustin Painter and Purnell. Off turn 4, coming to the line. Painter has pressure. Towards the front, though, looks like Steve Requino's got some company in the form of Mark Thomas. As this run progresses, the 50 laying down some pretty good laps. There's only about 1/100 of a second difference in lap time that last time between the leader and second place Mark Thomas. Thomas looking to the inside. Requino up in the extreme high line. Momentum off 4 is going to get him to the line first. Maybe, yes, no. Nope, Mark Thomas does lead that lap, technically. Lap 13 on the board now. Thomas still battling down low, doesn't have the 24 clear. Requino working on the outside for the momentum, for the run down the back. Might take a look down low as he gets it. Yep, taking a look. Will he repass the 50 into 3? He's certainly going to try. Down to the inside goes the 24. Mark Thomas, now he's pulling that high side. While Mike LaJoie watches it all unfold, Mark Thomas maybe going to try it. Got the momentum, high side. Let's see if he leads this lap. Nope, going to give it to Requino. Good battle here. 14 laps in at Atlanta Motor Speedway between Mark Thomas, last week's winner, and Steve Requino. It's back and forth last couple of laps. It's allowed Mike LaJoie to catch our leaders. Three-way battle for the lead here, lap 14. Mark Thomas has battled back, though. Back on the outside, has taken over the position. Now Requino can't battle back on the high side because he's got a right side mirror full of the 29 of Mike LaJoie. Mike LaJoie is going to make the pass on the 24 up top. Maybe not. Still side by side. Nope, the 29 clears him. Entry to 1. Moves Requino back from 1st to 3rd. Mark Thomas, your new leader. Mike LaJoie, 2nd spot. Mike moving up through the field. Right now, Mark Thomas, the owner of the fastest lap of the race, a 31.07. Already 16 laps into this event. Lap time's already falling off. Again, fastest lap of the race was 31.07. Basically, let's call it a 31 flat. The last lap they ran is a 32.79. So we're already slowing down significantly here at Atlanta. Tire fall off, pretty significant on this racing surface. Gonna have to see how these guys can manage the tire life throughout the race. Again, only 2 sets over the wall on pit road. Top 3 kind of in their own world. 4th, 5th, and 6th, kind of the same thing. There's a pretty good battle going on back there, though, with Painter, Purnell, and Donald Ray. Painter the head of that small pack. 41 Array down low. Purnell and the 32 up high. Kyle Ray looking to the inside of the 32 truck. Not quite enough to get around and clear. Purnell taking the high side again. Seems to be the way to defend, at least off of turn number 4. Run the high side, pull the momentum move through the dog leg. It typically seems to work, but you got to run the same line through 1 and 2. Do it down the backstretch. If you time it right, let the 41 cross over in front of you, and you still have the momentum. You can kind of cross over yourself, go to the inside, repass into 3. We've seen the 24 do it. We've seen Mark Thomas do it. It's worked pretty well for those guys. But speaking of the 24, he's making the pass now on Mike LaJoie for second once again. Lap 19. Battling for the second position. Mike LaJoie in the 29. The 24 is Steve Requino. Good news for Mark Thomas, though. These guys battling out. They're certainly going to be burning up tires a little bit more than the leader, who just has to run his race, run his line. Conserve, conserve, conserve. Sometimes these truck series races with the OG League can be, well, caution fest. Not all the time, but so far, we're 21 laps in. Not a yellow to be seen. Everybody keeping their noses clean. Nobody wrecking, nobody crashing. No feelings hurt. It is a mile and a half. We're not dealing with a half-mile short track or even a third mile. I think we ran last night for the modifieds. But we got Mike LaJoie taking a look to the inside of Mark Thomas for the lead. Thomas up high in the 50. Mike LaJoie down low in the 29 off of turn number 4. Mark Thomas has the run to the line. He's going to lead that lap. Mike LaJoie still pressuring. Not sure if Mike got into the wall there on entry to 1. If he did, it was ever so slight, but it seemed like the truck did shake ever so slightly on entry. Hard to tell. Don't see any lettering scraped off on the outside of that machine. He continues on, but again, now pressure from the 24. Great battle going up here for the top 3 spots, whether it's the lead or second and third. Everybody's going back and forth here. The 24 might be hitting pit lane, though. Yes, he is. Made it look good. Oh, we got a spinner on the front stretch as well. Another spinner. That's the 32 of Purnell. I think these guys were trying to get all they could to get onto pit lane as fast as possible without speeding. Of course, that is relatively important. Requino comes to a stop in his pit stall. Right side's going on. Going to get it as full as possible. The Sunoco Racing fuel. Jackman around to the left side. It goes up as well. 4 tires in fuel for the number 24 Napa machine. Down and away, waiting on the fuel. He's off and running back to join the race. Meanwhile, Brian Torcha has regained or taken over the lead. Number 2 truck, as we've got Mark Thomas now in the pit lane. Mark rolling to a stop. Mike LaJoie went in with him. Tailgate to front bumper, these two. Both right sides going in the air. It's probably going to be 4 tires and fuel for everybody on this round of pit stops. And I got a word here that Steve Requino may have crashed. Take a look at that real quick. Speed it up. Leaving pit lane. I wonder if he had the same thing happen as we saw. Oh, yeah. 24 loses it on exit. Real slippery apron down there. That's going to be a killer. They're going to lose a ton of time with the 24. If anybody wants a caution now, it's going to be that guy. We go back live. Mark Thomas has finished his pit work. Rolls back out in the 5th position. The top 4, though, they're in the pit lane. Legan, Kerr, Torcha, and Woodrum. That's going to give Mark Thomas the lead back with a 1.47 second advantage over Mike LaJoie. Mark Thomas did well getting on and off of pit lane. Again, it looked like that LaJoie and Thomas were pretty much the same pit time, pit speed. Trying to see what the difference may have been between the two. Mark Thomas was maybe a half second faster stop. See if I can pull up the actual pit lane time. See if I got an option for that. All right, pit lane time for Mark Thomas was a 44:10. Mike LaJoie a 44:50. So half a second faster on the stop and almost a half second faster on the overall entry to exit time. So that's where it looks like Thomas has gained most of that advantage. 1.6 seconds over Mike LaJoie. That only calculates the pit lane itself. Doesn't say anything about how well the 50 got through the apron, how hard he ran that truck. May have gained some more time there. Again, it's a slippery slope, so to speak, on the apron on the pit exit, because we've seen 2 trucks already leave the pit lane and spin the truck right out. It's like ice down there. See Mike LaJoie just off turn number 2 down the back. Losing some ground now to Mark Thomas. He's lost about a 10th that last lap. See where Requino ended up. Steve's actually still in the 5th position, but looked like he short pit everybody. He hit the pit lane first, got onto pit lane really, really nicely. Solid entry into the pit box. Pit stop looked nice and clean and fast. In fact, Requino, no, actually Steve did run a 1660 pit stop, so a little slow on the stop, but a little issue exiting the pit lane. The truck gets spun around, and that's where he lost all that time. I think he may have rejoined as the leader if that did not happen, but not all is lost. We're in the 5th spot here, 28 laps in, approaching halfway here in Atlanta Motor Speedway. I'll tell you, though, if we got a caution, I think the 24 is going to be right back in this. Well, while we got the opportunity, looks like pits have all cycled through. Let's go through the field. Of course, our leader, Mark Thomas, has won the last 2 races here in the series, 3 overall on the year. Looking real strong entering this round of the playoffs. This is the first stop of the playoffs. Atlanta Motor Speedway, as we get a whole bunch of grandstands in the shot. There he is. Bad Obsession Motorsports, number 50 of Mark Thomas. Second place, Mike LaJoie, the number 29. He's been battling strong here early on for the lead, really the 3rd spot, back and forth. It's got a 1.8 second deficit on Mark Thomas right now, but again, a caution would erase all of that. Donald Ray, we talked about him a little bit out of Rockwall, Texas. Actually, I think my ex's family's got family in Rockwall, Texas. I'll have to find out about that. Donald Ray running in the 3rd spot. A good run for him so far. Oh, this camera's just not doing it for me. Brian Torcha, the number 2 out of Hudson, New York. He's running in the 4th position. Of course, Steve Requino we talked about, the 24, his issues exiting the pit lane. Looking strong tonight, still time to make his way back up, but again, a caution would be very helpful for the 24. Pete Woodrow in the number 8 Coca-Cola. Got some Christmas paint schemes on there. That's good to see. A lot of guys running festive paint schemes on their trucks tonight. Dale Legan, the 05 truck at the My Cricut makes sponsorship on the tailgate. He's got Sudeth Taxidermy on that thing as well. Of course, OG Racing League representing the sponsors here tonight in Atlanta. Running in the 7th position. Strong run so far for the 05. James Kerr right on that tailgate, though. Black Acid Machine. The number 75 Toyota Tundra runs in the 8th position. Derek Cook in the number 38 machine. He runs in the 9th spot. Dustin Painter, who again looked so strong early on, started outside pole. Got Christmas vacation paint scheme there. It's the Uncle Eddie holding up the beer. I think it's a beer. I hope it's a beer. Running in the 10th spot for Dustin Painter. Not sure if he had an issue on his pit cycle. Yeah, it looks like he lost about, 10 seconds slower pit lane time versus the leaders. Pit stop was okay, but maybe had an issue getting on or off the pit lane, so that can explain the 10th place running position for the 65. Austin Purnell, the number 32. Again, Austin, I think, spun on pit entry as well. The shot was kind of wide. I didn't see it 100%, but I think he did spin that truck trying to get all he could onto pit lane. Austin Purnell runs 11th. Kevin Newborn runs 12th, the number 51 Georgia Bulldogs machine. Ben Choate, 13th, the number 19. Josh Battles runs in the 14th position. Got the Grinch on that ride. Runs 14th. Not real happy about being back in that 14th spot. Wants to move that thing towards the front. Greg Jones in the 56, a newcomer here to the series. Had a rough outing last night, I believe, in the modified series. Right side pancaked on that number 56 already here as we approach halfway, but he's still in the fight, still on the lead lap. Anything could happen. Of course, a caution would change a lot too, get him all caught up. Aaron Conover's off track. And then we have Wagner, Taschereau, and David Wright, who did not start the race. Back up front, though, we do have Mark Thomas. 1.9 second advantage over Mike LaJoie. See, he did actually just get around the number 11 of Josh Battles. So Josh Battles and Ben Choate now a lap down. Get out the back bumper of Mark Thomas. 11 of Josh Battles. He just put down a lap. That little green speck in the back there, that's Mike LaJoie. 2 seconds the distance, almost a full straightaway back to second place. Mark Thomas running in his own zip code right now, but anything can happen. We are past halfway. These guys are going to need to make one more stop. It's going to have to get on the pits nice and clean, get those tires changed out, fuel it up, and hopefully get out of the pit lane without an issue. Again, that's if we stay green to the end. Cautions would certainly change everything here in tonight's event. Back to Ben Choate, the number 19 truck. Steve Requino now back to the 7th position. Not sure if this is by design, if he's working a strategy here, if this goes green to the end. He was 5th after that pit stop. He spun the truck out on pit exit, but did not hit anything. So I don't know if this is him just staying out of the throttle, maybe going to make a 2-tire stop or a gas only later on. Going to chance it, see what he can come up with, but it's certainly an option. It's a risky one here at Atlanta. This place eats tires, but if anybody can do it, it's the 24. And you see Derek Cook in the number 38, tucked in behind Requino. Field pretty strung out after that cycle of green flag stops. Front to back, you got Mark Thomas still leading up 2 positions from where he qualified. Mike LaJoie now running 2.5 seconds back from the lead. You gotta wonder if these guys are just saving tires. Taking a look at this battle again for the 8th position. Derek Cook trying to fight off Dale Legan. Dale in the 05. Sudath Taxidermy on the hood. My Cricut Makes on the tailgate. Trying to get by the 38 to move that machine up to the 8th spot. Still running solidly in the top 10. Steve Requino still in that 7th position, though. Looks super strong early on. Put the truck on the pole. Had an issue after that pit stop and finds himself back in that 7th position. 4 truck lengths between the 24 and Pete Woodrum here, trying to reel him in through 3 and 4. Last lap for Requeno, a 33.08. He's going to hit the pit lane again. This will get him home to the finish. Let's see if he takes tires or not. Steve trying the short pit strategy once again. This is good into his stall. Right side's going up. Let's see if he takes 2 or 4 here. Fuel going in as well. Got to get to the finish. Nope, left side's going up too. 4 tires and fuel for the 24. Kind of figured it was going to be the case, but just wondered if he'd make that strategy move. Let's watch him exit the pit lane here. Make sure he doesn't have any trouble. Truck awful loose down low on that banked part of the apron. He gets past the blend line there. He's back on the back straightaway. Let's make sure he did not get a pit blend line violation. Looked awful close to it. Hopefully not. Got Dustin Painter, Austin Purnell in the pits, Ben Choate, Greg Jones. Mike LaJoie hitting the pit lane as well. Missed what happened there between the 50 and the 29. Mark Thomas had a pretty significant lead over Mike LaJoie there for a bit. Let me see if I can find where that pass occurred. So let's take a look at it. I think I may have found it here. We'll speed it up real time. Nope. Mark Thomas real slow down the backstretch. Not sure what the deal with that is. I think the truck's out of gas. It's not running well. He's clutching it. Yeah, so that's how he gave up the lead there. I don't know if he just pushed it 1 lap too far. 22 laps to go here, though. Brian Torch is in the pits as the leader. The 2 truck comes to the stop in his stall. Right side's in the air. I'm assuming 4 tires and fuel for Brian. James Kerr currently the leader as he sits in his pit stall. Mike LaJoie is cycled back through to the lead. And Mark Thomas is pitting again. What in the world has happened with Mark Thomas? He looked like he had this one in the bag. Maybe he didn't get it full. I mean, I'd be waiting for a caution if I didn't get it full, or maybe he just missed his stall. Not sure, but Mike LaJoie still leads. Mark Thomas, unfortunately, out of the running for this. Runs currently in the 13th position, showing a lap down. I think Mike LaJoie may catch him for another. My guess is maybe he got caught speeding on the pit lane, had to serve a penalty. I don't see it listed. I don't even know if I have a indicator for it. I don't believe that I do. Mark Thomas, though, still in the pit lane. This is a significant penalty if it was just for speeding. Well, after that cycle, it's Mike LaJoie, Brian Torcha, Steve Requeno, Donald Ray, James Kerr, top 5. However, Mike LaJoie's got an advantage of 12 seconds back to the 2 truck of Torcha. Steve Requeno, though, did make his way back up now into the top 3. The 05 of Dale Egan still running top 10. Pete Woodrum in the 7th spot after his pit stops. Once again, Steve Requeno dropping back. James Kerr gets by. The 24 back in the 5th spot. This is interesting. I can't figure out what is going on here. It seemed that 24 was so fast. Top 5 is Mike LaJoie, Brian Torcha. Now Donald Ray to 3rd, James Kerr 4th, Steve Requeno back to 5th. Dustin Painter has gotten back up to the 6th position after that round of pit stops. .16.5 laps to go here from Atlanta. Mike LaJoie still leads. Catching the 50 of Mark Thomas. Thomas listed in the 15th position, 3 laps down. Been caution free since the drop of the green flag. We got to knock on wood to make sure that stays the case. Certainly would mix up everything and change the race for sure. 15 or so laps to go. Mike LaJoie's got this one well in hand if he just needs to make laps here for about 15 more. He's got an 11-second advantage over the 2 truck of Brian Torcha. Uh-oh, Mike LaJoie just disappeared. Connection issues for the 29. This is never a good sign. We've lost Mike LaJoie. No, he's back. Need that internet to hold out for another 14 laps, Mike. You got a win in hand if you can keep it up. Lets the 51 truck Kevin Newborn go right on by. He's a lap truck, not for position, just trying to save to the end in case there is an issue where he needs to really battle, but 8-second advantage to 2nd place. Steve Requeno has fallen now back to the 7th position. Pete Woodrum has gotten around the 24 truck, as has Dustin Painter. Your top 5, LaJoie, Torcha, Kerr, Ray, and Painter. That is the top 5. Chevy, Toyota, Ford. 38 of Derek Cook looking to the inside of the 24. I can't imagine what is going on with Steve Requeno. Lightning fast early on. I know the track is covered in cloud cover now. It may be affecting the handling of this machine. Not to his liking at this point, but the 38 putting pressure on Steve Requeno as they go into turns 1 and 2. 12 laps to go. Steve in danger of losing now the 7th spot. .24 using that high line to carry the momentum off the corner. Great way to defend that position if you're just not quite as fast as you once were. You can at least build momentum. He can't take the high line with you because he loses the nose. And well, he can't go through you to make the pass. Battle still going on for this position. That's 7th place, Steve Requino. Getting pressure from the 38 of Derek Cook, who runs in the 8th spot in just behind, 3 or 4 car lengths back, but takes a look to the inside of the 24. Back up front, Mike LaJoie still leads, letting some of that advantage drop a bit. Now 6.5 seconds back to the 2 of Brian Torcha. James Kerr 3rd, Donald Ray 4th, Dustin Painter in the 5th position. Just noticing a little bit of damage to the right side of the 29 of Mike LaJoie. Not sure if he clipped the wall recently or not. I'm just now seeing this. The right rear side panel of that number 29 truck definitely showing signs of an impact somewhere. Maybe that's what's slowing him down. I'm not sure. But with 6.5 laps to go, I think Brian Torcha is going to have to roll off some seriously quick laps. Is the 29 rolling out of the gas? Let's ride on board with Mike LaJoie here, see if he's trying to save fuel. Yep, Mike LaJoie definitely clutching the machine into corner entry, low on gasoline here with 5.5 laps to go. We'll listen again. I've turned it up for everybody. See also on the left side, the tach dropping from 62, 6,300 RPM, 6,500 RPM, down through the dog leg, almost 7,000 RPM, and watch it drop. Yeah, Mike LaJoie going to be in trouble on fuel, trying to save as much as he can, was kind of banking on that caution to come out, hasn't gotten it yet, would almost prefer to have the caution to save the fuel and deal with battling with the 2 of Brian Torcha. 5 laps to go, though. It's going to be interesting to see if LaJoie's got enough Tiger in the tank to make it to the finish. Let's ride on board with Brian now, see if he's trying to save fuel as well. Brian pit 1 lap later than Mike LaJoie. Right now, Brian not saving fuel, at least not the same way that Mike LaJoie is. He's real easy on the throttle, but not letting out of it completely, not getting on the clutch. Three laps to go for Mike LaJoie, coming to 2 to go at the line. LaJoie still enjoying a 6.5 second advantage over number 2, Brian Torcha. Brian in that 2nd spot, just hoping that the 29 can't make it to the finish. Brian would inherit that position. Relatively fair gap from Brian back to James Kerr, about 2.5 seconds to the 75 truck. Mike LaJoie catches the white flag here through the dog leg one more time around. Can he nurse the number 29 truck to the finish under its own power? Mike LaJoie down the back straightaway here at Atlanta for the final time. Half a lap to go, and he can take home a checkered flag. Still saving fuel through turns 3 and 4. Has plenty of advantage over Brian Torcha to do it. Mike LaJoie off of turn number 4. He's saved enough. Checkered flag waving. Mike LaJoie, your winner here at Atlanta, the My Cricket Makes Truck Series. 2nd place, Brian Torcha. Third place, James Kerr. Fourth place, Donald Ray. Dustin Painter off turn 4. He's going to collect the 5th position. And Steve Requino, don't know what happened with the 24. He ends up finishing 11th, I believe a lap down. Well, we did it. Flag to flag, no cautions. Mike LaJoy on the front stretch, trying to celebrate here. Will he have enough fuel to light it up? I don't think so. I think he's out of gas. Well, there's your top 3. We're going to take a short break and be back with those top 3 for interviews after this. Welcome back to Atlanta Motor Speedway. The My Cricut Makes Truck Series race here from Atlanta is in the books. Race 1 of their playoffs is over with, and Mike LaJoy is victorious. We're going to go to Mike right now here up in the booth. Mike LaJoy, it's Steve Singer in the HBR TV booth. You got a copy, man? Mike LaJoy, congratulations on the victory. First and foremost, it seemed like you were really nursing that thing home. You had a good advantage to kind of save some fuel. How close was it? I didn't see you do any burnouts.
Yeah, but you had it exactly right. When I came out of the pits, I was thinking that was good. And then when I saw Mark had some sort of issue, black flag or something, I think, I legitimately started clutching the corners a couple laps into that run all the way home. So I was saving big time.
Yeah, we definitely heard you letting out of it pretty hard and grabbing the clutch. I know in the in-car camera we saw the tack dropping down to about 1,100 RPM. It was like, oh, yeah, he's saving some fuel now. But you got lucky. You had a great advantage over the 2 truck of Brian Torcha. I'm not really sure what happened with Mark Thomas. Did he run out of fuel and then get a pit speeding penalty? Was that what happened?
It sounded on the comms like he missed his pits when he meant to go in, and then maybe ran out of fuel coming back around, and then I think he got an unsafe pit exit coming out.
Tough break for the 50. Looked real strong here tonight, but you weren't really a slouch either, right on the tailgate of that 50 truck tonight. It's not usual that they can win 3 in a row, and you certainly proved it tonight. You take home the checkered flag. Congratulations. Before we let you go, anybody that you need to thank on the truck or the series or anything like that?
Just my usual shout out to the admins of the league. I love running with these guys. It's super fun. I'm gonna run with them as long as I'm welcome. Shout out to the sponsors. My Cricut Makes and the racing school, LSI, all those guys helping us put this on.
Well, again, Mike, congratulations. Thanks for being a part of this. It's always fun to watch you every week. You're always up there in the battle, and it was good to see a flag-to-flag race here with no yellows.
Yep, that was fun. Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Mike. It's Mike LaJoy, your winner here in Atlanta Motor Speedway. Second place is Brian Torcha. We'll go to Brian right now. Brian, this is Steve in the HBR TV booth. You got a copy?
I got you, Steve. How's it going, man?
It's good, Brian. Congratulations. You battled back. I think you started where did you start tonight? You started 12th, didn't you?
Yeah, I started pretty far back there.
Yeah, biggest mover of the night. You bring it home P2, not too shabby. Quietly worked your way to the front. Was it fuel strategy? Was it tires? Did you save a little to the end, or did it just work out in your favor here tonight?
I think a little bit of both. I had my truck set up for the long run, and I just pushed it as long as I could on those fuel runs, trying to save some in case we had green-white checkered or something, we were out of tires. So. But I'll take a second place going into the playoffs. I wanted to win, but second isn't too bad.
Yeah, it's a good way to start the playoffs for sure. The caution would have been kind of fun to spice things up there at the end, but also kind of cool to see this thing go green to green without a yellow flag in between it all. So that was nice to see. Clean race is always good.
Oh yeah, it's been the last few races we've had in these trucks have been really clean. So I mean, I wasn't surprised we went caution free tonight. So, good racing.
Well, Brian, again, congratulations on the second spot. Before we let you go here, anybody, any sponsors, any family, friends you got to thank here before we roll into the Christmas holiday?
I'm gonna thank all our sponsors and special shout out to my sponsor, D Dixon and Sons Trucking, just trying to keep this championship run alive for him.
All right, that's Brian Torcha, the number 2, finishing number 2. Congratulations, and we'll see you in Iowa.
Awesome. Thanks, Steve.
Third place finisher James Kerr is next on the docket. James Kerr, Steve Singer, HBR TV. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
James, congratulations, third place. It's not a win, but again, top threes are always good. Tell us about your afternoon and how you worked your way up through the field.
I really just started playing fuel strategy on the first fuel run and kind of tried to follow pretty much what Torch was doing because he's been kind of the guy to follow on these fuel run or fuel mileage races. So I was saving all the way through, just trying to stay out of trouble. And if anybody was really fast, just kind of let them go on by because they were going to burn their stuff up, and I get back by them again.
Well, certainly fun to watch. You had a good run. We saw a couple of guys get into trouble on pit exit, spinning the truck out on that apron when they got up to the banked part of the apron. Did you have any issues trying to get off pit road? I know you didn't spin the truck necessarily, but was it a little hairy out there?
It was a little loose coming off. I've ran this track now 3 times in the past week in 2 other leagues, or 2 other leagues plus this week, and I kind of remembered not to mess up on pit exit because I did it on the first week that I ran and about took out my whole race.
Well, James, again, congratulations on the top 3 here tonight in Atlanta. Good way to start the playoffs. Before we let you go, anybody you need to thank? Did we lose James?
Oh, can you hear me?
There we go.
All right, sorry, my button acts up sometimes. I gotta thank Black Acid Custom Racing Apparel. That's my main sponsor. KRM Motorsports just came on the truck a couple weeks ago, and also all of my cars. And Allison Racing, and I think that's about it. And everybody in the league, everybody who sponsors our league, and you guys for broadcasting us.
I think you got them all. If you didn't, you got a couple of weeks till Iowa. You can take care of it then. Just got to bring the truck home again to a top 3 finish. Congratulations, man. Merry Christmas, and we'll see you at Iowa.
All right, Merry Christmas. Have a good holiday.
It's James Kerr, third place finisher here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. This race is a wrap. Flag to flag racing with no yellows. Good to see. Clean race by all. Little bumping and banging here or there, but nothing worthy of a yellow flag to slow these guys down. 70 laps clicked off in a hurry here tonight. Good to see. Mike LaJoie victorious. Brian Torcha was second. James Kerr was third. Let's look at our official race results since we're talking about who finished where. Again, of course, Mike LaJoie victorious. Brian Torcha second. James Kerr third. Donald Ray in that number 41 looks strong most of the night, brings it home fourth, a good top 5 for him. Dustin Painter in the 65 machine brings it home fifth. Dustin is actually the outside pole sitter, but unfortunately brings it home only fifth. But again, he battled back. He was deep in the field for a point in the race and managed to still bring home that top 5. Derek Cook was in the 6th position. Dale Legan in the Sudath taxidermy machine finishes 7th. Pete Woodrum was 8th. Austin Purnell, after a little trouble on pit entry, still finishes 9th. Kevin Newborn was 10th. Steve Requino, tough night for the 24. Started on pole, put down a blistering lap in qualifying. Had some issues out there on track. Not sure really what happened because the truck looked clean. Even when he got back out there, just wasn't up to speed the way that it was early on. He finishes in the 11th position. Josh Battles was 12th. Mark Thomas, again, similar situation, led this race for a while, looked pretty strong, had an opportunity to win. missed his pits, had to go back around, then ran out of fuel, and then got an unsafe exit. It was just a comedy of errors, unfortunately, for Mark Thomas. Wasn't able to make it 3 in a row where it looked like he really had an opportunity to. Instead of winning, he brings it home 13th. Greg Jones in the 56 finishes 14th. Ben Choate 15th. Aaron Conover, that number 20 machine, an early incident for Conover. He finishes in the 16th position. And we're showing again David Reitmack to Mike Taschereau, 17th and 18th. But again, in here as an admin role, I believe, or just watching the race. So pay no attention to those two at the bottom. So that's about going to wrap it up. That's your race results here from Atlanta Motor Speedway. Again, we want to thank, of course, My Cricut Makes for being the sponsor of this series. My Cricut Makes custom-made designs and a lot more. Contact Tabitha Brown at 618-340-0900 if you need any of those things taken care of. Of course, LSI Specialty, Litchfield Specialty, LSI. D. Dixon & Sons Trucking Incorporated. Sudath Taxidermy. Call 636-544-7836 for your taxidermy needs. And again, I want to make a mention here. We've talked about this a lot last couple races. Last night included the TRS, theracing.school.net. It's not too late to purchase a winning gift for Christmas. No lead car. Passing is allowed and encouraged. The Racing School is an experience of a lifetime. Book your date at the historic Thompson Speedway in Connecticut today. Call 877-CAN-RACE or visit theracing.school.net for details. And again, I have a sponsor here I want to make mention of that does a lot of work for us behind the scenes. Whiplash Media, providing custom camera work for many of the races that we broadcast. If you're in need of custom iRacing cameras for your stream, find them on Facebook, Whiplash Media. Contact those guys. They'll get you squared away. That's going to do it for me. I got to thank everybody for joining us here in the stream tonight. I also have to ask, because, well, it's customary. You do that sort of thing when you're a streamer. Please like, share, subscribe. Smash those buttons everywhere you can. Follow, turn on the notifications. It's facebook.com/HollerBoysRacingTV. Racing with no G. It's HollerBoysRacing, no G. I'm sorry, TV. Because we can't spell. And then YouTube, same thing, Holler Boys Racing TV. Find us there for all the streams, all these races, and even follow along when we're not covering the OGs. We do them 3 days a week here coming up. I think Saturday we got ARCA as well, so that'll be a great time. Look forward to doing that. Hope to see everyone there, and please join us for that. So with that, I'm Steve Singer with Holler Boys Racing TV. Thanks for joining us from Atlanta Motor Speedway. We'll see you in a couple of weeks at Iowa.